And we are recording.
We have been missing for a couple of weeks. We've had family. We've had a loss in the family. Our grandfather died recently. And then everything we were trying to record, like all the games we wanted to record, we weren't able to.
Including the first week.
Today.
Yeah, the first week it was just like the video was skipping. The second week I don't even know what happened. This week I don't know what's going on with my computer, but it's not using the programs like it should. So
and then I'm pretty sure one day was like a no bones day, which just automatically means like it's just go.
It's a no bones day. You can't do anything on a no bones day.
On a no bones day. Yeah. So, with that being said, roll that intro.
There, give me a sec. I can actually.
I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Deanna. And we're
the Halfwit Sisters.
We're just gonna have to redo that in post. The video is not sized correctly.
Like one of the ones we successfully recorded, like a episode of for Phasmophobia, but then I couldn't, like my editing. I used DaVinci or DaVinci Resolve, and DaVinci was just like every time I tried to edit, it would crash, or if I was rendering it, it'd crash, and I was just like, I'm just never gonna get this episode out. Apparently, we're just not a Let's Play channel anymore. It's just it's just how it is.
It's fine. It's just gonna be. I don't even fucking care. I'll figure that out later.
And then, like, for like 3 episodes, we've been trying to review, because we went and saw Shang-Chi and Black Widow. And so for like 3 straight episodes, we've been trying to like share our viewpoints on Shang-Chi and Black Widow. We
still haven't gotten that video out. That just occurred to me. Oh my god.
We tried doing it once while we were watching, while we're not watching, but while we were playing. So the first playthrough we did was Minecraft Dungeons. And so we were playing on that and reviewing Shang-Chi and Black Widow. And when I watched it back, the game was frozen the entire time. The sound worked. Game was frozen. So I tried to pull the sound and just put that out. But then there were so many gaps in between because we were focused on playing the game. So there's so many gaps in between. I was like, this isn't going to work. And then it was the Phasmophobia playthrough, and we were trying to play that while hunting ghosts. And there was tons of times where we're like, where the hell are these ghosts at? And like right as we say that, we'd get killed by the ghosts.
I died every time.
But I couldn't like render it for whatever reason, so I'm just like, whatever. And we weren't able to, and we were still trying to review Shang-Chi and Black Widow while hunting the ghosts. It didn't work out.
Third time's the charm, right? It's gotta be a bones day. Is it a bones day?
I don't think so. It's a no bones day.
I'm gonna fuck it up.
It's no bones day.
Which, okay, if you are not on TikTok, you have no idea what this means. There's a pug named Noodle, and his owner checks to see if he has bones that day or not. And that dictates how we have our days.
It's so interesting how this pug it's a cultural phenomenon.
It seriously is.
It's a cultural phenomenon for this. Like, someone who's like, is this a cult? Is this how cults get started? Yeah. It's a cultural phenomenon. Like, it was just a silly little idea this dude had, and it's a pug in a little bed, and it's whether or not this pug decides to stand up or not, and that's it. It's it. Here's a video of him.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to yet another round of No Bones, the game where we find out if my 13-year-old pug woke up with bones. And in addition, we find out what kind of day we're going to have. Now, I think it's pushing it to think we'll get a third Bones Day in a row. Yeah, sure enough, down he goes. Oh, okay, it's a no bones day, but it's a Sunday. I feel like this is kind of a good day for one. We were due for it, so just take it easy. Don't rush into anything. Oh my gosh, unless you have to, then go for it. But just take it easy, chill out, and have a great day.
And
have you seen the video of the lady who's always talking to, like, naval and army, like, high-end people, and she has one where she like skates back and forth. She had one where she was dying laughing because
the army person was like, I don't know if it's a no bones day or a bones day.
Yes.
Yeah. Made it all the way to the Pentagon, bud. Yeah. So sometimes I end up on the messy side of TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And there's I don't know if I should talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it anyways.
Why not?
Sometimes I end up on the messy side of TikTok, and there's this one lady who has all of these women, usually black women, that are obsessed with her. And they're going out there and they're getting tattoos that says "Daddy's Girl." Yeah. And they're like swearing, they're calling this lady their god, and they're swearing their life to her. They're giving her money. I'm like, that's a cult.
Yeah.
No, ma'am. Nope. I prefer Noodle.
Noodle's adorable. We go with bones or no bones.
Simple. It actually affects my day in a positive way.
I'll see some TikTokers come on. They're like, I'm being punished for not being American because by the time they do the no bones or bones, it's the end of the day. And I don't know if that was supposed to be like the past day or this future day. It is a whole discourse on, do you go by the next 24 hours, or was that day how your day was supposed to go, and you just get to know in retrospect?
Oh, there's a whole Dutch thing of these two guys in like Dutch Parliament, where they're being shipped together. These two Dutch Parliament that are being shipped together. And like it hasn't been like on like the Dutch TikTok, but it's being shown to like anybody from like Canada over. It's so weird. It's so funny. But it's like you watch TikTok is so interesting in that sometimes you just really get a glimpse into other cultures, and people are like, is that really how you guys live? Is that really how it is over there? There's a few that I've done duets on where some people are like, how come, in particular Spain, how come Spanish households don't have AC? Or how come European households don't have AC? Right? Because here in the US, we have AC. It's integral to our architecture. But it's not to most European architecture. And I remember when we lived in Spain, how like every room had its own little AC unit. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so a lot of people were, huh?
Central air was not really a thing.
Yeah, yeah. So there's like tons of people going, how could this not be a thing for you guys?
Well, have you seen... There's a lot of TikToks and Reddit forums that I find that are just like Europeans not understanding the vastness of like the States. They're like, oh yeah, no, I'm going to New York. Maybe I'll pop down to Disney World for like a day trip.
You don't pop down to Disney for a day trip.
If you're in Orlando, sure. But you can't just pop down from New York. It's just like the size. Yeah, no, that's not a thing.
You drive 5 hours and you're still in Texas. You drive 10 hours, you're still in Texas.
So it's like, yeah, there's an entire guy's TikTok where he's just like astounded by the differences in America from where he lives in the UK. And he's just like, what do you mean you have a screen on your windows? And he goes over to his window and it opens like this, right? And he's like, is there just like a screen here? And we're like, no, our windows go up and there's a screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yellow school buses are a thing. Red solo cups are a thing. No, those aren't just like movie tropes.
The other thing that's really interesting to be seeing on TikTok is men being flabbergasted by women biology.
A while ago, it was...
Or like the things we need for, our time of the month.
Yeah. Oh, a while ago on TikTok, it was a trend to show your boyfriend a pad and them trying to figure out how to use it. You still get some of those. One of the most recent ones that came across my feed was a guy had to put a tampon in a water bottle and then he had to take it out. And he was very confused because it got super big.
This doesn't go.
Another one was like two boyfriends were reading the possible side effects of birth control.
Yeah, I saw that recently, yeah.
That was hilarious because they were reading two different symptoms because they were two different kinds of birth controls. And one of them's like, wait, where are you on this list? Because they think it's the same thing on both. No, you got different symptoms, guys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, TikTok's a fun place.
Yeah, it's great introductions to like subcultures, niche hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And each of them have like their own tag. Like book talk is a thing. Kink talk is a thing.
Well, I mean, those drift over from Twitter, right? Because you had Twitter talk. You had book Twitter and kink Twitter. You still have those over there, so it's just kind of a
catch-all.
Yeah. From Twitter, which is really great.
But so today we're talking about...
We got sidetracked. Well, our original plan was to play Back4Blood. Was to play it. We've played it on our off time because it came out and we wanted to give it a shot. And I've got to say, for a game, who put it out? Who put it out?
The same people who did Left 4 Dead. That's all I know.
That's Valve. No, it's put out by Warner Brothers Games and Turtle Rock Studios. which is not Valve.
No, but the creators, the masterminds behind it.
Okay. So probably those are the developers. They probably
Yes.
split off and was like, we want to finally do Left 4 Dead, which is cool. The one thing I will say about the game, it definitely has the things that's classic to Left 4 Dead. Definitely has that. I just don't like the card system.
I still haven't gotten, like, I still don't really understand it.
So there's two card systems. There's the I look at it kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons systems. You have the DM, which is the environment cards that are supposed to make the levels harder. And sometimes they can be interesting, and sometimes they're just a freaking pain in the ass. There's a group that I played with randomly because I decided I'd play with strangers just one day, and that was a mistake. But I played with a couple strangers, and there was one card that we got where it's like, don't set off any of the birds or car alarms, and they'll put more birds and cars in the environment. And instantly, right out the gate, the dude set off every single bird the level had. And that makes it really frustrating because it's, for one thing, like, some players don't play stealthy at all. Like, they're just run from point A to point B, just shoot as many zombies as they can. It doesn't make any sense to move. Like, the game doesn't give you any reason to move stealthily through the levels.
Yeah.
Right? And so to have that kind of mechanic placed in there because of that card, meh.
Yeah, which really doesn't make sense because they do have their corruption cards is what they're called in the
Yeah,
game.
thank you. I was like, what was it called? Corruption cards, yes.
They're corruption cards. Like, some of them do give you incentives. Like, the timed ones, if you finish it in a certain time limit, gives you extra copper, which gives you... which allows you to buy more cards and stuff like that. So it's like, if you're gonna have those, give an incentive for it. You already have...
buy cards while you're playing through the game. Once you get back to camp, the money doesn't carry back to camp.
No, the supply line things do.
Yeah.
And you get the supply line. Sometimes the corruption cards give you a little boost, I think, but sometimes it's just how well you play through the level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, the card system I'm not too big a fan of, and I kind of agree with what one of my roommates has said is, like, I wish you had the ability to kind of turn it off or had a game mode without it. I've only been playing campaign, so I haven't tried the Swarm or the quick play, but I wish you could play without needing the card system whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I can't tell if you do have any benefits from running when you make your own personal deck. If you do have some benefits from it, you probably do. I just haven't been able to tell.
I think we're probably still a little too early in the game because what we keep end up doing is we keep having to redraw whenever we play. And so we're not seeing our benefits stack like the cards are supposed to do. So
Yeah.
our campaigns aren't really saving that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'd show you all. Maybe we will eventually show you once we can find a way of playing games again on systems that don't crash.
I think it's probably just something because I also have OBS and the mic and the headphones and the game capture and all the stuff, all the programs running. I might need to upgrade something on my computer so that it can handle more. It's great for editing that I haven't done in months because I've been working. But it wasn't built as a powerhouse to host the amount of programs that we use when we're recording.
Yeah, well, it's not something we thought we would be doing when we got into it.
Yeah. So I might have to do some upgrades on my computer. We'll see. I'll talk to Neil about it. I'm gonna return this because do not get me wrong. I love my Elgato mic, and I liked the cam link when it was working. But the cam link stopped working. This is Elgato. It stopped working two tries after buying it. So I'm gonna have to go and find different products because that's super annoying, and it's both Elgato products.
But overall, so far, the way we feel about Back4Blood is it does have the spirit of Left 4 Dead. It really does have a lot of that. Some of the monsters in there are the zombie types have been like really, really good. I like that they have kind of weak points that you can definitely pick out.
There are definitely more obvious weak points than within Left 4 Dead had. The one zombie type that I kind of miss is the witch.
Yeah, we're not far in. There may be a witch type that we just haven't run across yet.
But there's two different kinds of we call them lonely boys, which is not what they're called. That
tall boys, the tall boys.
Yes. They're like their shoulder is their weak point, and you can tell because it's like this red,
the bruiser tall boy has the weak point. The other one, the crusher, has the weak point on its face.
So so it's kind of cool because it's like this big glowing red thing.
Pustule. Yeah.
So it's super easy to see the weak points on all of the big zombie monster types, and not the regular horde mob zombies, but it's kind of cool.
So do you briefly want to talk about? Do we briefly want to try and talk about Shang-Chi and Black Widow?
Let's give our hot takes on them.
Okay. So let's do our hot takes. We're going to go by way of which they came out in theaters. So Black Widow first, Shang-Chi second.
You want to go first?
No, you go first.
I think it is definitely a Black Widow movie, but Black Widow is not the Black Widow that we have been having this entire time. It was more
You're going to have to explain that.
It was more focused on Yelena and her taking over the mantle than Natasha Romanoff.
Yeah, it was a trade-off.
Yeah. So it was definitely Black Widow, but not heavily focused on the one we had grown with.
This was more of the Black Widow mythos. That's kind of what I took it as. This is the background of Black Widow. This is where she came from, and kind of the handoff to the new Black Widow. That's kind of where I loved it mostly because it's badass women kicking the ass of other badass women. I said this all 3 times we tried to fucking. So that's what I loved about it the most. I have been hungering for a movie with a strong female protagonist that kicks ass and takes names, and that's exactly what happened. And it wasn't just her; it was everyone. It was other badass women fighting other badass women, taking names, and pretty much doing the job, And the reveal of Taskmaster was probably the best. Like the twist that they did with that character was phenomenal. And I am excited to see if they bring that character back. I would really hope they did bring that character back.
Yes.
So overall, if we were to say, I think Black Widow is probably one of the best and most solid Marvel movies in the franchise, Marvel universe so far.
Yes, with the characterization, the familial comedy that they had between Natasha, Yelena, and then whatever the dad figure and the mom figures was hilarious. The storytelling, the character arcs, all of it was just super on point.
Yeah, exactly. And it also tied together just every Marvel movie up until that point, because the Red Room was pretty much stealing from everybody. And that was very much shown at the end when you got to see the Red Room and hovering up in the fortress, making its own little cloud storms, right? They talked about how they were stealing from everybody, and you really got to see how they were doing that, all the way up to how Marvel just likes to drop everything out of the sky, essentially. And that's what they did all the way with that one. It's like, yeah, we've seen Marvel drop aircraft carriers, continents, whole continents, right? And you might be like, well, I'm tired of watching them do this. Yeah, but they did this one last time for it, because that's essentially it's like repeating no, what do they call it? The Red Room, essentially, though they had seen everybody else, they weren't learning from everyone else's mistake. That's how I took it. Yeah. What is our verdict?
Full wit.
I give it a full wit.
Full wit.
Full wit. Full wit. Which we have not really ever given out a full wit.
No, we don't.
We have not. So this is one of the first movies we've given a full wit on. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, Shang-Chi.
Super important for the Asian community to have a very successful, and it was a successful and well done movie, but I felt like it was missing something, and I cannot put my finger on it.
Shang-Chi is the transition into the new era of the next generation of Marvel, and the next generation of heroes that we're about to see. And I get where you're coming from, because it seems so disjointed, even though we've seen there were definitely hints of other Marvel things, like Extremis was in there. We saw a very brief thing of Extremis. We got to see the Mandarin again. The dad laughed about the whole Mandarin episode, right? And saying like how he was the inspiration of that organization. But the thing that really sort of stood out was that it's classic martial arts movie from China kind of thing, from Asian cinematography. It's classic Chinese martial arts. I felt like they did the sister a disservice. They really brought her in, showed her to be this badass character, and then immediately put her in the background. And while everybody else was given like this big training arc, when they made it to the village, the mom's village, they really just gave her a rope and said, go have some fun in the forest, and then focused on everybody else. Right? It's like the brother got like this big massive montage of him getting better, and what did we get from her? She's standing in a bamboo thicket chopping up bamboo, and we're like,
you get one conversation with her with the aunt going, hey, we're no longer at your father's compound, you can do whatever the fuck you want. To her just chopping down some bamboo in the forest. We even got a little bit more with Awkwafina's character. Right.
Even though, quite frankly, she probably could have taken the 10 rings and beaten and been the hero. She definitely had more skill, more skill. She had more skill because we see her kick her own brother's ass. We know that she built up her empire, right? And she she's the better half. but we can't have her be the best. That's not what this movie's about. So I felt like that was really not great. Yeah. So how do we feel? Overall, though, the story was good for what it is. It gave us the next steps for for where we're heading with the next part of the Marvel story.
Yeah, I think it definitely helped set up the Eternals and I believe Galacticus.
Is Wu an Eternal?
No.
Okay, because I thought I saw him as one of the Eternals.
No.
He's standing among them. Is he not?
I don't think so. I don't think
he is. Look at the picture. I swear to you, when you look at the lineup of the Eternals, he's standing in them.
Let's see. I don't
know.
Oh, that does look like him.
Doesn't it?
Are we just being racist?
So let's rate Shang-Chi. Overall, I love the action. I like that the sister was badass. I also like that the actress they gave the actress full control over like her character's look. And she pushed to make sure that it didn't fall into some stereotypes and they listened to her, so that was great. And the story was good. Not great, but good. So I'm going to give it
But we're just racist.
We are racist. That's fine. 3. I'm going to give it a half wit.
I would give it a 3/4 wit. Overall, I think it was a really well done. It's just, it was missing something, and I'm sorry, I do not know what it was, but I just wanted just a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But I would give it a 3/4.
You gave it a better score than I did. I just don't like what they did to the sister.
Yeah. Understandable. But yeah, so...
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
No, you.
I don't know what I was going to say.
I don't... Look, we had planned to play Back4Blood, and it didn't go well, so... Oh, okay, I got something. I followed in my younger sister's footsteps, and I will be teaching as a substitute teacher for Dallas ISD. So, now I finally have my money problem solved, in a way, so it'll bring in money for me, but I also get to start teaching kids. Yay! I also got my transcripts, all of my transcripts finally, both from DeVry and from Full Sail. So now if I want to go and look for anything that's actual college level, I'll be able to do that too.
Okay. I don't know if I've talked about it or if we had an episode come out where I'm a grad student.
Yeah, but it didn't go out, so you can talk about it.
Yeah, I'm a grad student. I'm like, I don't remember what our last episode was about. And so I don't remember if I got to tell everyone that. I got accepted into WGU's Master of Arts in Teaching English Education Secondary, so high school English. And I start... Fingers crossed, I'm supposed to start on the 1st of November. I just have to go through a couple planning calls with my program mentor. And she's supposed to give the final good to start. So, Yeah, I'm now a grad student, and I'm getting my master's.
Congrats.
Oh, excuse me. And this is all because New York has this thing where to be a substitute teacher for more than 40 days, you have to have a teaching certificate, and I didn't want to go and get another bachelor's in English education if I decide to do this full time, because then I would also eventually have to get a master's, because New York requires you to have a master's within 5 years of your first teaching post. So I'll just knock it all in one shot and just get the master's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you watched Squid Game?
No.
Okay.
Like, I haven't been wanting to watch anything like super like low. Does that make sense?
No?
Oh, well, I haven't been wanting to watch anything that's been... I haven't been wanting to watch shows. I've... Everything seems way too dramatic lately and sad, or like, I've been like, I just want to be positive and keep myself in an upbeat zone. Okay. My room already looks like I live in a depressed man cave. So I said man cave because I've got a lot of comic books all over the place. And I've been told that that's more of a man thing, but screw you.
Whatever. That's fine. I'm surprised because it's, I would have expected you to watch it before me.
Yeah, I saw it come out, and I was thinking about watching it, but then I saw a bunch of videos where they were talking about how the Korean was actually mistranslated. Some of the Koreans actually mistranslated.
Yes, and a lot of those have been corrected already.
Okay.
Netflix is on this social media where they're like, we did wrong, and like instantly correct it.
Yeah. I don't know why you're just crying over there. It's not like the door's not open. Jigsaw has gotten into the habit where she'll just like go stand in my bathroom and start screaming. You cat owners know the cats will just go pick a spot and then you'll just like scream, just like, and you're just like, it's not like you don't know where I'm at. And they'll do that for a bit until you say something to them. You're like, what are you doing? And then they'll look at you and they'll just start screaming towards you. And then walk in your direction, continuing to scream. And you're like, there's nothing wrong. It's not like they don't have water or food or a clean place to go to the bathroom. They're just screaming because, I haven't pet her in the last 2 hours. But then I pet her and then she throws a fit because I pet her. I'm done with her. I'm turning her into
pet her in the exact moment she wanted, and she needed to let you know that. But you can't pet her now.
I'm turning her into my new fur boots. Come this winter, I'm not going to have to worry about cold feet because she's going to be my new fur boots. Her and cotton. A fur boot for each foot.
It's about as much fur as they have. Oh my god. But yeah.
Jeez. I have been learning about, here's another thing I've been learning about, life coach. Been learning about life coaches. And those programs are ridiculously expensive. Like, on the low end, they can be anywhere between like between $800 to $1,000 just to get a certificate, okay? just to get a certificate, $800 to like $1,000. On the high end, they can be $13,000.
So you too can be like me.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily like you need the certificate, but some people are like, why am I going to hire you if I don't have it? Right? Like that's just to have that you did the dues, right? And the programs can be anywhere from like 6 to like 2 years, depending on how you want to go.
6 months to 2 years.
Yeah, huh?
6 months to 2 years.
Oh, maybe I'm over exaggerating. I'm probably over exaggerating. Anywhere between
the way you just said that sounded like 6 years. So
no, 6 months to a year.
Okay.
6 months to a year to do your life coaching to get your certificate. And when I looked at like how do you even get your job? How do you even get clients? It's pretty much the same way you would get it if you were a freelancer, which is just word of mouth, self-promotion. I'm like, whoa, great. No change there. So, and the only reason why I was looking at that kind of stuff is because I've been doing some consulting, and I was working with a client, and while I was working with them, I was like, I'm not really helping this person with a business decision. Well, I am, but I'm not helping them with this business decision in the term of like, why should they price themselves this way? Right? So if they should price themselves at $2,000, why should they price themselves at $2,000? And a lot of what I was doing with this person is having to remove their self-doubt. They didn't think they were worth $2,000. And I had to go into why. And it was less about what they were offering, and it was more about them, their company, the project. And it was a lot of this uplifting, affirmation. And when I was done with them, it's like they were like, all right, yeah, you're right. I'm worth $2,000. I was like, okay, great. And when I left, I was like, the conversation I had with this person isn't exactly just like a business consultant thing. What is this? And then when I looked it up, I was like, oh, that sounds way more like a life coaching thing. So it was like a blend of business and life coaching. And so I was looking, and that's what led me down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in knowing more, you can look on YouTube, which is where I started. And some of them are really good. I would avoid anyone that tells you that you have to immediately drop $13,000. You do not.
Yeah, that seems more of the motivational speaker of, yeah, be like me.
No, well, there are certain programs that like to class themselves as like the top of the tops of the tops, right? And that's, yeah, I get that. What are they offering you? And remember that some people, some will come to you like, remember, sorry, Mom, we're putting you on blast, but remember when Mom was doing her,
house flipping?
No, not house flipping, travel agency.
It's about to go through all the things she's done.
I know, right? Our mother's got a rather extensive resume. So one of the many things that she had done is been a travel agent, and she had gotten onto a couple different groups, and a few of them were like, "We're going to send you clients. We're going to send you a list of clients. You call these clients. These are done deal clients. You set them up with your package, and you get your money." what you really have to get into, and you have to get into the really nitty-gritty part of this, is what is this list that they're giving you? Are these actual people that they've gone through and actually vetted? Or is this really a list of cold calls that you have to vet? And a majority of the people that the majority of these lists that you're actually given are cold calls.
Yeah.
These are usually just a list of people that filled out that, yeah, I want more information. Yeah, put me on the newsletter.
Yeah.
They haven't said they wanted to. They're at that first stage of the customer's journey. Right? And so when I hear people going, yeah, I dropped $500, I dropped $1,000, I dropped $1,300 on these big list of things, I'm like, are these really vetted, or did they just take you?
Yeah. Probably the latter.
Yeah.
Because
so I'm learning a lot.
If it was an actual client list that you were calling, that would be one, that person's retiring and passing on their list, and super expensive.
So I'm learning. I've been over the last couple of weeks. I've been learning a lot about lead gen and stuff for stuff along that line. And then the life coaching kind of fell underneath that, while I've been trying to spin up my own rebuild. That's the right word. Rebuild my marketing and consulting agency that I shut down, because I shut one down in 2018. I've talked to anybody that's followed us for a while. I talked about that, the early beginnings of our podcast. I talked about that. And I decided that I was going to open a new one, and I have been doing that and been going through a lot of research for new tactics and whatnot. So, you might be hearing me talk about those things again. Mm-hmm. While I'm also trying to teach kids.
I mean, I think mine's a pretty normal case, but you might just end up not like full-time teaching like I end up doing. You might just be like 1 or 2 days at a school and then 1 or 2 days at the other school.
Yeah, so in Texas you have to teach 5 days a month, at least 5 days a month.
Yeah, tell them how that's going to work for you this month, Becca.
Yeah, okay, so they didn't give me orientation until last week, and then this week I'm supposed to be brought in because we have biometrics that we have to give in order to get our time submitted. You have to actually submit bio with your thumbprint. So I don't really know how that works. And then I still have to make my 5 days for this month, which actually only gives me next week. So, yeah.
She has 5 days. She has 6 days to make 5 days of work.
Yeah. Yeah. I already got an email talking about how one elementary needs a couple teachers. So
that's good.
That's coming in. But that so I don't know. I'll know more when I go in on Thursday to get the final paperwork all signed. But I'm already sitting down and looking at like how do I go about so that I still fulfill what I need to as a substitute teacher, plan what I need to do as I spin up this business that I want to, still keep our stuff within my schedule, so on and so forth.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a lot of us, especially with you taking on this new job, me having both full-time work and education. So we're really going to have to like knuckle down on me and like, okay, this is the time and day we film. This is when we edit. This is when we do this. And
And in a way, we also have to revisit I know we haven't talked about it in a while, but it's been on our the reason why we haven't like tackled it is because we keep trying to rethink the logistics of Belladonna, right? And how to actually do it with everything that we've put on our plates. Yeah. And if we need to change certain things, that's why we keep pushing it back, because we're like, this is what we want to do. This was our pie in the sky idea, but now we keep having to pare it back, because it's not necessarily.
Hold on, I think my phone's ringing. Yes, it is. I will call him back. Oh my god. I will call you back. I'm still using my phone as a my webcam, which I either need to figure out how to use my GoPro as a webcam and get that working, or go buy an actual webcam because I need a webcam to do proctored test for my degree.
So anyways, going back, like, to finish out our show, the reason why we keep hovering around is because we keep having to like rethink how much can we do, what needs to change, what can we bring back, those kinds of questions we keep bringing around and going in circles. Eventually we're just going to have to sit down and go, this is it, this is all we're doing, and get to and really just do it.
Yeah. Which we should talk about soon.
So, alrighty, tidy. Well, that's what we had today. Not exactly the episode we had planned, but we hope you enjoyed it.
And you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon.
And tell us what you like to do, whether or not you follow Noodles on TikTok. If there is a thing that you've been finding interesting on the Clock app, and whether or not you liked Black Widow or Shang-Chi, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.
Bye. I was going to say something, and I don't remember what it was. I feel like it was important.
Yeah, well, if you can't remember what it was, then it wasn't important.
I guess so. All right. Bye.